Section 3 of First Communion Days by a Sister of Notre Dame. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. Cyril. He was just 4 when he first came to school, a sturdy little fellow with a face like an angel, big blue eyes, a halo of yellow curls, and the sweetest smile. Dressed in a pale blue tunic, he looked a perfect picture that first morning. All the other children immediately fell in love with him, each seeking the honor of sitting near him or showing him his way about. In the playground, chocolates and sweets were showered upon him until Sister thought it wise to warn them that too many good things would make him ill. Cyril took all this attention as a matter of course. In fact, he seemed to expect it, not showing the least shyness at so much attention. In school he was very good and interested in all the Sister said. He tried to do whatever work was set for the others, and yet the reason the mother had given for putting him to school, while he was still so young, was that at home he was never out of mischief. Cyril's home was a good half-hour's walk from the school. He had been told that he must never, never go out of the playground until his mother or nurse came to fetch him. He had twice already run away from nurse, his mother said, so after school they watched him very carefully till Mother came. For some weeks everything went well. Cyril enjoyed school life and seemed none the worse for all the petting he received from the others, nor was he in a hurry to return home. But one day Mother was late. Nearly all the other little ones had gone. Only Cyril and 3 others remained in the playground with one of the mistresses. Once or twice Cyril had run to look if Mother or nurse were coming, but not seeing them had once more joined in the game. Presently one little girl fell down, scraping her knee. Picking her up, the mistress wished to bathe it, so she told the others to play quietly till they were fetched or till she returned. No sooner had she left the playground than Cyril ran once more to the door to look for his mother. The street was deserted. No one was in sight. Why should he not go to meet her, he thought, and immediately he set out. 5 minutes later his mother arrived, but by that time the other children had been called for and the playground was empty. Inquiries were made, but no one knew anything about Cyril. On returning to the playground and finding it empty, the mistress naturally thought the children had been called for, even taking the trouble to look down the street for any sign of them. In a great state, Cyril's mother set out to look for him, up one street and down another, then back home to see if somehow he had arrived there. Cyril's father went out and made inquiries at the police station. Nurse started once more towards school. Then, just as they were wondering what to do next, in walked the little culprit, quite unconcerned, fresh, rosy, and smiling. Hiding her great joy, the mother greeted him with a scolding. "You naughty boy!" she exclaimed. "How could you run away from school like that? I must give you a good spanking to make you remember to do what you are told." When the spanking was over and the boy's sobs had ceased, the mother tried to make him understand how naughty and disobedient he had been. "Have I not told you over and over again," she said, "that you may never go into the streets alone?" "I didn't go alone," he replied. "My guardian angel walked beside me all the time." "Who?" said his mother, not understanding him. "My guardian angel. Sister said he was always at my side." "Yes, that is true," answered his mother, "but I told you to wait for me or nurse, and it makes your guardian angel very sad when he sees you disobey." So Cyril promised that he would never again go home until someone came to fetch him. The next morning when his mother told Sister all about it, Sister said, "His guardian angel certainly took care of him in a wonderful way. Fancy a little fellow of 4 finding his way all that distance and crossing those busy streets, too." About a year after this there was a school concert. Cyril was chosen to represent the little infant Jesus. Dressed in a white robe trimmed with gold, a golden halo fixed behind his curls, he made such a pretty picture that after the concert everybody wanted to talk to him. It was after this event that Cyril took such an interest in his catechism lessons. He was always wanting to know more about little Jesus when he was a boy. He felt somehow that as he had represented him in the concert, he ought to be more like him every day. He would sometimes say, "Sister, what would little Jesus do if he were me now?" Another time he said to one of the little girls, "You can never be as much like little Jesus as I can, because you are only a girl and I am a boy like him." He did not understand that it is by making our souls beautiful we become more like Jesus. The next year, when the first confession class was formed, he begged so hard to be allowed to join that Sister consented. Although Cyril was only 6 years old, he soon learnt the prayers and was able to answer all the questions asked to see if the children really understood what they were going to do. When the day came, not only did Cyril make his first confession with the others, but afterwards with them was placed in the First Communion class. Little Cyril was delighted. Little Jesus, whom he loved so dearly, was coming into his heart. Now indeed it would be easy to become like him, for would not Jesus be able to tell him what to do? His eyes used to shine with delight when Sister was giving them instructions. How he longed for the day to come! But alas, Mother did not approve of Cyril making his first Holy Communion at all. Confession was all very well, but Holy Communion, that was a very different matter. She herself had been 12 years old, she said, able to understand what she was doing. Such a beautiful day it had been, full of joy and consolation. Why, she loved to think about it even now. If Cyril made it while he was so young, he would forget all about his First Communion day. Sister told her how it was the wish of the Holy Father that children should receive our Lord before they had soiled their souls with any big sin, and that by the strength received in Holy Communion, these little ones would be kept from ever committing many sins that other children fell into so often. She reminded Cyril's mother, too, how our Lord had rebuked St. Peter for trying to keep the little ones away from Him. Just think how much others love your little Cyril, how much they like to have him with them and to talk to him. Yet our Lord loves him with a much greater love than theirs and longs to dwell within him. Why wait until that innocent little soul has been stained with sin before you allow Jesus to enter into it? But Cyril doesn't understand what he is doing, argued the mother. He understands quite well that it is Jesus he will receive under the appearance of bread, and that is all that is really required, though of course he knows a great deal more than that. Let me call him in, Sister added. I will put a few questions to him before you. You will be surprised how much he really knows and how eager he is to receive this great sacrament. So Cyril was called into the room. Standing beside Sister, he answered question after question clearly and without hesitation. When Sister told him that Mother thought him too young to make his first Holy Communion, he turned toward her, his eyes filled with tears. "Oh, Mother," he said, "you won't keep me away from little Jesus, will you? I will be so good. Sister, do ask Mother to let me make it." His mother was surprised at his eagerness and went away promising to think it over again. But Cyril now gave her no peace. Each day he would ask, "Mother dear, you will let me make my first Holy Communion, won't you?" Or, "Do let little Jesus come into my heart," until at last Mother consented and Cyril was made happy. He tried so hard to be good and was so obedient that even his mother noticed a change and told Sister how pleased she was. She told her, too, how when she had taken Cyril to a party, he had refused to take any lemonade when it was passed around, that when afterwards she had asked him why, he had told her he wanted to offer it to little Jesus on his First Communion day. It was so nice. "But I expect he will be as naughty as ever once it is all over," she added. But Mother was mistaken. Cyril went to Holy Communion as often as Mother would let him after the first great day, and though of course he had his little faults, he never lost the desire to be just like little Jesus, and tried so hard to be good that he was loved by all, both at home and at school. Above all, he was loved by our dear Lord, whom he tried so faithfully to please and to imitate. End of section 3.